All right, guys. Let us have a second look at speed, distance, and time calculations. So this is going to be what, a second and complete look. I didn't feel that the last look at it was complete, so I decided to do a redo. All right. So I start out by saying that distance is equal to speed multiplied by time. Time is distance divided by speed. Speed is equal to distance divided by time. We also said that the unit of speed is kilometers per hour. And these are the two ways that we can write kilometers per hour, km slash h or kmh to the minus 1. Next, when the unit of speed is kilometers per hour, the unit of time must be in hours only. All right, so what are we saying there? When the unit of speed is kilometers per hour, the unit of time must be in hours only. In this topic, the examiner could ask you to calculate speed in kilometers per hour. If the examiner asks you to do that, then the unit of time you use in the calculation must be in hours only. The examiner could give you the time in minutes, or the examiner could say the examiner could give you speed and then in kilometers per hour, and then ask you to calculate time. And in that case, the unit of time that you're going to get from that calculation is in hours only. All right, to convert minutes to hours, you divide by 60. And to convert hours to minutes, you multiply by 60. Average speed is equal to total distance divided by total time. All right, average speed is equal to total distance divided by total time. All right, let's have a look at the first example. It says a bus leaves town A at 09:05 hours and traveled to town B 48 kilometers away at an average speed of 80 kilometers per hour. At what time did the bus arrive at town B? All right, so things to note. The distance. So the distance is 48 kilometers and the speed is 80 kilometers per hour. All right. So we're given the time of departure, the time that the bus left town A, 9:05 hours, and we're asked to determine the time at which the bus arrived at town B. All right, the simple way to do that is that we have to first find out how long did the bus, what is the time of the journey, how long did the bus take to arrive at town B. Time is equal to, that is time is equal to distance divided by speed. So that would be 48 divided by 80. And so the answer there would be what? Let us find out. The time would be 0.6 of an hour. All right. How did I know that the unit of time is hours? How did I know that the unit of time is hours? Well, first of all, the speed is in kilometers per hour. So the time I get from my calculation must be in hours. All right, 0.6 hours is not really going to help me. I need the time in minutes. So 0.6 hours, to convert hours to minutes, I must multiply by 60. And so that is 36 minutes. All right, so you left your house at 9:05. You went on a journey that took 36 minutes. it means that the time of arrival would be 09:05, the time of departure, plus 36 minutes. So the time of arrival is 09:41 hours. The time of arrival is 19 minutes to 10. 9:41, which is 19 minutes to 10. So what did I do at the time of departure? I used calculation to determine the time of the journey. I converted the time of the journey in hours, from hours to minutes, added the time to the time of departure to determine the time of arrival. Now, the second question is asking us to calculate the average speed. We're asked to calculate the average speed. Oh, sorry. On its return journey, the bus took 45 minutes to travel from town B to town A. We're asked to calculate II. All right. The average speed of the bus in kilometers per hour for the return journey from town B to town A. All right. First of all, the time is 45 minutes. All right. Which is 45 divided by 60, which is 0.75 of an hour. All right, 3/4 of an hour. So why move from minutes to hour? Well, for starters, we're asked to calculate speed in kilometers per hour, and I said if the unit of speed is kilometers per hour, then the unit of time must be in hours only. All right, average speed is equal to total distance divided by total time, and so that would have been 48. So it's a return journey, so it's the same distance, divided by the time, which is 0.75. So the average speed would be 64 kilometers per hour. All right. So the distance is the same. The person took more time. So therefore, it means that the person was traveling at a slower speed. Going, the person was traveling at 80 kilometers per hour. When coming back, the person was traveling at 64 kilometers per hour. All right. So what is the last thing we're asked to do? The last thing we're asked to do is to calculate the average speed of the entire journey. So for the entire journey, the average speed would be the total distance, which is 48 plus 48. All right, that's entire journey is going and coming, and the time going was 0.6 plus the time coming, which is what, 0.75. This is 96 divided by 1.35, and my answer would be 71.1 kilometers per hour to 3 significant figure. All right. So the average speed of the entire journey is 71.1 kilometers per hour. All right. So some key things to remember. Remember, if the unit of speed is in kilometers per hour, whether you're asked to calculate the speed or you're given the speed, the unit of time that you would calculate or the unit of time that you have must be in hours only. All right. Let's have a look at a second question. All right. Mrs. Ains took her class on a tour of the island. The table below shows the time the bus arrived at 2 places of interest along the route. I. How long did it take the bus to travel from South Point to Bird Park? All right, that's the first question. So ensure you take a careful look at your table to ensure they understand exactly what it's saying. This row here deals with arrival time. This row here deals with departure time. This column here to the left refers to South Point, and the column to the right refers to Bird Park. So I want to know how long. It's asking about time. Did it take the bus to travel from South Point to Bird Park? How much time did it take the bus to travel from South Point to Bird Park? All right, so let's do some time calculation. Time here would be the time of arrival at Bird Park, which is 11:16, minus the time of departure, from South Point, which is 9:40. So it's 11:16 minus 9:40. So the difference in the time would be how long the journey took. I can't take away 40 from 16, so I have to borrow from the hour section. These 10 hours. Let's come over 60 minutes. 60 plus 16 is 76 minutes. Now 40 from 76 is 36, and 9 from 10 is 1. So the time of the journey from South Point to Bird Park is 1 hour and 36 minutes. All right. Here's the second part of the question. It says South Point is 80 kilometers away from Bird Park, and we're asked to calculate the speed of the bus in kilometers per hour along this section of the tour. All right, so the first thing we need to highlight is that you're being asked to calculate speed in kilometers per hour, yet the time of the journey you have is in both hours and minutes. But if the unit of speed is kilometers per hour, the unit of time you use in the calculation must be in hours only. So the very first thing is to convert the time. Time of this journey would be equal to 1 plus 36 over what? 60. Remember, to convert hours to minutes to hours, you divide by 60. So this is 1 plus 0.6. So the time of the journey in hours only is 1.6 hours. Speed is distance divided by time. And so the speed is the distance, which is 80, divided by the time, which is what? 1.6 hours. The speed of the bus is 50 kilometers per hour. So the speed the driver was traveling on the journey from South Point to Bird Park is 50 kilometers per hour. All right, so I did 2 questions. You must have a look at the rest in the homework. But things that you must remember when you do these calculations: if the unit of speed is kilometers per hour, the unit of time must be in hours only. To convert minutes to hours, you simply divide by 60, and to convert hours to minutes, you multiply by 60. All right, so the homework for this topic is exercise 26 on page 171. Have a good evening.